here. We've got the Alabama coming up, and a good chance those horses will show up there, and they can continue what could be turning into quite a rivalry. And there's little better in this sport than a rivalry.
We have a reigning champion coming back next, but a reigning champion who's been beat at odds on in each of the last 2 starts. That, of course, is Nitrogen, who won the Alabama here last summer. She'll try and get back on the board after those odds-on defeats in Hot Springs for Marcassi with Jose Ortiz, 8-5 right now.
You know, there's a big debate whether or not she's lost a step from last year, and I don't really see it. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with her second-place finish last time. She lost to a horse, and this is her race 2 back when she ran against Regald, and she did not run that well in the slop. I will say this was a subpar effort, and if she hadn't come back with a big effort in the Apple Blossom, I would be with the people saying she just isn't the same horse she was last year. But her race last time, she lost a horse that might have run one of the best races we have seen run by anyone in this country. Nobody would have beaten her that day. Nitrogen is nothing if not consistent. She always shows up. Dry, wet, turf, dirt. She is always right there, and I don't care who you like, and I'm picking against her. She's the horse to beat.
I completely agree with you. I think she is getting knocked and being judged a little unfairly off those defeats because she ran big in both, depending on what numbers you look at. She ran huge in both those efforts, and she was coming off, remember, an off-the-bench victory performance where she came back, I'm not going to say too quick, but Marcassi felt maybe a little quick from that return effort.
Listen, whether you agree or don't agree, Marcassi runs his horses. And in a sport where we often hear people don't run their horses enough, Marcassi runs. So if you're going to sit around and criticize people that don't run and then criticize a guy that always runs his horses, you're going to complain about everything. We appreciate Marcassi, and I'll tell you something about Nitrogen. She has been running consistently month after month after month, and she's showing no signs of slowing down.
Indeed. Ogden Phipps, presented by Ford, is next. Grade 1 in this Distaff division. $500,000 purse. Here's what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. So the big one, final Grade 1 on this Friday card of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. And then 2 very wide open races, certainly that last race on the grass. A lot of ways to go.
I agree. And, you know, when I was talking to Greg a little bit earlier about this card, he said, you know, there's a lot of Grade 1s here, but I am most interested in the very late double at 13th and the 14th on Belmont Stakes preview day. Is it preview day or the day before the Belmont Stakes?
The eve of the Belmont Stakes, indeed. Yeah, $25 free play for the Belmont. For new customers, punch in Belmont 25. Get that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus as well. And play all the action right there at NYRABets.com. Well, the board believes how we feel as well. There she is, the reigning champion, Nitrogen, even money favorite, trying to win for the 8th time in 16 starts.
She is the kind of horse that will always take a lot of money in the win pool. She's a known name. The others in here, most people haven't really heard of them unless you're really a racing fan. But looking at the Will Pays and the Daily Double from last race and the pick 3s, believe it or not, Fully Subscribed, the one, is a slight favorite. So I think by post time, a good chance that those horses will be very, very similar prices, and the connections of Fully Subscribed are looking to win back-to-back Grade 1s and 3 stakes on today's card.
Pretty incredible with all the talent lined up today to have that kind of afternoon. Let's go back to the DraftKings Acorn and take a look at how this race played out. And this upset, Counting Stars turning the tables on Always a Runner.
What I think is always satisfying in big races is when they're over, you don't say, well, this horse had a bad trip, this horse got unlucky, this horse didn't get out of the gate. As Frank noticed right away, you couldn't get a more perfect break. And another credit to our gate crew, everybody coming out cleanly. And Always a Runner was in good position, stalking. Was she a little wider? Yes, but the winner won decisively in here, and we leave the Grade 1 Acorn with the best horse today winning it. The question is, who will be the best horse at the end of the year? And we'll find out more about that in the next few months here in Saratoga.
These brothers, again, it was Jose Ortiz going by brother Irad Ortiz Jr., the Kentucky Derby. This time, it's Irad going by Jose, beating the Oaks champion with Counting Stars here in the Acorn.
Well, each of them win their share of races, and even though they're highly competitive and hate to lose, and in some ways hate to lose to each other, when all's said and done, I'm sure they both feel if I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose to my brother.
And as you said, again, 2 huge targets later this summer at this racetrack, Coaching Club American Oaks, and then the 1.25 Mile Alabama later in the summer. We'd love to see them both.
You know, it's just been great racing all week. The racing office and the horsemen combined to put together tremendous cards of racing, and the racing has delivered. Think of the Better Roses earlier today and that battle down the stretch. You might not see a more exciting high-level race the entire year. The last race decided by a nose at the wire. Horses are delivering, and that's what's so great about Saratoga. The weather's spectacular, the crowd is great, and the horses are delivering, and there's still 3 great races left to go, including another Grade 1.
Yes, indeed. That is the Ogden Phipps presented by Ford Belmont Stakes coming up tomorrow eve. Here in Saratoga Springs for the final time will be contested here in Saratoga Springs. Cherie DeVaux from Saratoga Springs, Golden Tempo passed on the Preakness, trying to capture 2/3 of this Triple Crown. We'll be back.
We're over here at the Cherie DeVaux barn, and you have Kentucky Derby winner Golden Tempo right behind us, and I'm so proud to be here with somebody that knows him very well, Enrique Miranda. You've been riding this horse pretty much since the beginning, Enrique. Talk to me a little bit about how he's developed and how he's come along leading into the Belmont now.
Well, he's been developing really well. Kind of feels like he's getting better every time, and yeah, he's gotten, he's been a very quiet horse from the beginning, very easy to work with, and just does everything you ask of him. And, after the Derby and just before the Derby, he's been getting like a lot more aggressive and kind of digging into the training a lot more. So I like to see that.
Tell me about what the experience was like watching the Kentucky Derby for you, seeing a horse that you've worked with and come along and winning the biggest race we have in America.
Oh man, it's just, it's hard to explain, I guess, because you kind of can't believe it, It's just a dream, I think, for a lot of people that work here with the horses, and it almost doesn't feel real at the time, And I'm kind of a soft-spoken person, but I was screaming my head off that day.
And how excited is the whole team going into the Belmont?
I got a lot of phone calls, from our team back home at Keeneland, home base, and everyone's super excited that we're here and you know, happy that we won the Derby, and just it's been really exciting and fun for all of us, you know.
Should enjoy it. Congratulations on the Derby win and good luck in the Belmont.
Thank you.
It is an entire team effort when you get a horse, any horse, to win a race, but certainly a horse of the quality of a Golden Tempo to win a race like this, and all the effort it takes from the breeding, being born, getting him to the races for the first time, and then to win a race like the Kentucky Derby, obviously a dream come true and a history made by Cherie DeVaux, the first ever female trainer to win that race.
The rest of this horse's career is just, you know, it matters, but this horse won the Derby, and the Derby winner is never forgotten.
No, and often, well, we'll see tomorrow, I think. Well, not tomorrow, excuse me. We normally see tomorrow as our over bet. But tomorrow, for whatever reason, Golden Tempo's not being bet at the rate he was. 6-1 last time I looked.
And why, based on the last race, Richie, is he supposed to be a much bigger price than Renegade?
No, I think they ran very similar races last time, and the disparity in price is surprising. There's so many great storylines surrounding Golden Tempo. Obviously, the most obvious being Cherie DeVaux being the first female trainer to win the Derby. But what about the Phipps family and the partnership with Vinny and Teresa Viola? Now, Vinny Viola's won 2 Stanley Cups with the Florida Panthers, and now his second Kentucky Derby. It kind of harkens back to Art Rooney, right? You know, with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and his racehorse dynasty with Darby Dan Farm.
And keep in mind, you will not be seeing him wearing the same silks he wore last time. We will not have the famous black and cherry red silks. Vinny Viola's silks will be on tomorrow. Probably won't make him run any faster or slower.
Richie Migliore, Jonathan Kinchin, by the way, joining us in case you didn't notice. Great to have you guys on board here. Rushed over from the other set as we get set for a huge one in this Distaff division here. This Ogden Phipps presented by Ford. There's the even money favorite, the reigning champion, Nitrogen. Let's check in with Acacia Clement.
And Greg, it's easy to be a fan of Nitrogen. She's raced 15 times in her career and has never finished worse than third on turf and dirt and competing at the highest level. Now, I do think last time out she was second best, but there was no beating the filly that won in Claret Beret last time out. Saw quotes from her jockey, Jose Ortiz, who said, I could have been Rachel Alexandra that day, and I wasn't going to be able to go by. She is a horse that I know that some comments have been that maybe she has tailed off a little bit. I think she's still been running well, and I do think that, A, it's a very positive sign to see her staying on the main track as opposed to going back to the turf. She would have had to face that war of a field in the Grade 1 New York in that last race, but she has continued to grow and fill out. My first time seeing her since last summer, and as is the typical of a Medaglia d'Oro progeny, she's always been a little bit more angular. She's put some weight and conditioning on, always forward, marching around in the paddock. She is the horse to beat. In my mind, her biggest foe is the number 1, Fully Subscribed, who I think is going to run much stronger second off of the layoff. She came back after not having run for 5 months in the Grade 1 La Treyenne behind Shred the Gnar, who was able to have a tactical advantage on her. Fully Subscribed was chasing outside as well and just couldn't get by the leader. Not to mention, she is a horse that I think prefers the mile and an eighth, which she's going to get today. She's not the biggest horse. She's actually quite small and compact, but wait till she gets on track. I've said this about her since the beginning. Once she starts to move, the way she extends her stride, she really covers so much ground, leading you to see why she does appreciate more distance rather than less. Greg?
Fully Subscribed. Thank you, Acacia. Major player in this Distaff division. And La Troyenne, this was the comeback of her 4-year-old campaign, and she will get more ground today, as Acacia noted. She just missed here.
Well, I think more importantly, this race will play better for her. In this race, the horse she had to beat was the eventual winner, Shred the Gnar. She not only drove much farther post inside of her, but she has speed. Fully Subscribed's a horse that can be forward, but she runs her better races waiting a little bit. But Flavien Prat knew, I've got to engage, I've got to be aggressive early. Now, Richie, you break from the 1 post in here, it simplifies things for you.
Yeah, allow her to run into the first turn, and then if somebody wants it, they go on. You make them go on, create some separation, give yourself options. Flavien is so good at taking advantage of inside posts. He's one of the best position riders since Jerry Bailey.
Incredibly, had a 4-win day yesterday. Having another incredible Friday afternoon as he gets a leg up here for Klarovich Stables and Chad Brown on Fully Subscribed. And she has become all of a sudden a major player in this distaff division. As you look at Pratt, back-to-back Eclipse Award winning rider, he is on top of the world right now.
The Connections won the Bed of Roses with Ways and Means, a 5-year-old. They won the previous race, the Grade 1 New York, with Portfolio Duration, and now they're trying to win another Grade 1 with another 4-year-old filly.
Well, next door, this one here, 16-1 on Regaled, graded stakes winner for the trainer, standing by with Megan Burgess.
Nice to catch up with Whit Beckman after some of his travels to Oaklawn Park with Regaled. And the big remark as far as this particular field, Whit, compact, and she does come from off of it. How do you see her tactically fit?
Well, I think her last couple of races were a mile and 16th. I think the extra distance is going to be more to her benefit than the pace. We're hoping it develops honestly and turns into what it looks like on paper. But, you know, Joe's going to have to kind of figure that out down the backside and position himself accordingly.
You had some astute comments regarding her trip in the Apple Blossom. What do you find hindered her, and what's her best trip look like down the lane?
Clear. This filly, once she gets into her kind of, stretch run, she just needs to be dead set without horse in front of her. When she has to kind of angle through traffic, she loses a lot of her momentum.
She's been down at your Churchill base training in company with Flying Mohawk. What have you taken from her works there, now shipping up to Saratoga for the first time?
She's been working fantastic. She's had a couple great works into this, so we're hopeful she runs like she's been working.
Regaled will surely come with that late run in today's Grade 1 Ogden Phipps.
Megan, thank you. Regaled, she was behind Nitrogen, who was the runner-up in the Breeders' Cup Distaff last year. She outfinished Nitrogen in the Azeri, Regaled's comeback effort on that wet track back in March at Oaklawn.
Yeah, and Regaled's a really neat horse. She's a kind of easy horse to root for, has made almost $1 million, but she is a bit of a deep closer and doesn't seem clear she's going to get a lot of pace.
Post parade starts with fully subscribed Chad Brown with Flavien Prat.
Her post position makes it easy. As Richie said, you leave for position and you let the chips fall as they may.
We just heard from Whit Beckman. Here's his mare, Regaled.
Andy said it perfectly 30 seconds ago. Regaled just doesn't have enough pace to close into in this race.
Coming off a graded stakes win at Keeneland, Alpine Princess.
Don't be surprised if this is the eventual pace setter in the race as Irad Ortiz gets the mount back after a nice win last time.
Biggest price on the board for Shug McGahee Cassiar.
And those historic lanes in Silks is going to need some pace to close into as well.
The reigning champion, Nitrogen, coming off back-to-back odds-on defeats.
And expect her to be forward as well, and she's the champ. She's the one they all have to beat.
And Bless the Broken, who was third in last year's Kentucky Oaks for Brad Cox.
I just feel like she's sitting on a big race. She seems to be improving. She's got a little bit more early speed. She's drawn to the outside to see what everyone does to her inside. This is where I'm going to land.
12-1 from the outside post. Florent Giroux will be aboard. 6 minutes to post here in a huge race in this Distaff division. It's a win and you're in for the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. Halloween, October 31st at Keeneland. Entry fees paid, $60,000 by the Breeders' Cup. That award denominator of $10,000 and $10,000 travel allowance for horses stabled outside of Kentucky. So a lot on the line in addition to that $500,000 purse.
Well, there's more than that. I mean, winning a race like this increases the value of every runner as well. So you could argue that a win in this race is maybe worth $1 million to a lot of the contestants.
Alpine Princess. Irad Ortiz Jr., Brad Cox, 12 of 19 career starts, has been first or second, coming off one of, if not the biggest performance of her career in the Double Dog Dare.
Look, I thought she ran extremely well in this race, and I agree with you. It seems like she's kind of the horse that doesn't have all the name recognition as some of the others, but I do think she is definitely a horse in here, especially with the pace scenario and her trainer, that could potentially find herself forward in this race.
I think being forward is going to be critical to success in this race. I just don't see a tremendous amount of pace signed on. But that being said, jockeys read the racing form too, and sometimes it goes the other way. Everybody comes out looking for position.
She's a horse that always showed promise, but she lacked any consistency. The question is, can she start putting good performances back to back? And interestingly enough, only Nitrogen has won a Grade 1 race. Every other horse in this race is looking for their first grade win. And talking about value, a win in a Grade 1 will increase their value significantly. Everybody wants to win.
But let's talk a little bit about Nitrogen, who's on the screen right now. She's one of those horses that since the Alabama, she's let me down a whole lot more than she's done what I thought she was going to do. For a very good horse who always kind of shows up and runs her race, she doesn't always win.
No, I agree. She doesn't, but she always competes at a high level.
And even though she doesn't always win, though, she runs probably a lot faster than most of these in defeat. She's even money right now. Let's go back to Acacia.
And taking a look at Alpine Princess, who did break through with a big performance last time out, reading quotes from her trainer, Brad Cox. He said that she really needed to take a step forward that day and show that she belonged with this kind of company, and that's exactly what she did. It's funny, I wrote the exact same notes that I had about her when I saw her last year. She is a horse that's not the tallest, she's not the biggest or most imposing, but she is powerful. She's burly and strong, and she carries a lot of weight and conditioning. She has the ability to be forwardly placed as well. I have no problems with the mile in an eighth for her. My biggest question is that she seems so far to be a horse that hasn't quite stepped up to the level of some of the company that she will be facing in here today. Brad Cox also sends out Bless the Broken, who was put in the Horses of Racing Age sale in November, where she sold at Keeneland for $950,000 and moved to Brad Cox's barn. I thought that last time out in the La Troyenne for her, she just looked like she couldn't reach the top two, picked up a few pieces. I think she's better when she's more involved and into the race. She's very sharp, as is typical for her. I thought she looked sensational in the way that she warmed up out on the track, really covering the ground nicely. She too should appreciate a little bit longer. She's shown she can come from off of it or be more forward, but like I said, I anticipate she's going to get into the race a bit more this time around, Greg.
Acacia, thank you. 3 minutes to post in one of the premier races of the year in this Distaff division, and a division that right now it is completely wide open because the reigning champion, who's your even money favorite, had a huge comeback, but then again beat each of those last two starts. Mig, what's your take on Nitrogen? Is she as good as the best we've seen from her, or does she really have something to prove here?
Well, I think she has to prove that she's as good and maybe taking that step forward at 4. When I'm watching her warm up, and I was with her all winter, I watched her all winter at Oaklawn Park, she looks better to me now than she did in any of her 3 starts over the winter physically. Love the way she warmed up, the way she got in the bridle. I'm seeing a mare that just looks a lot more honed.
And keep in mind, championships are going to be based on winning Grade 1 races. And there have been 2 Grade 1 races in this division. One of them was the Apple Blossom. The winner of that race won't be racing. And also at Churchill in the La Troyenne, Stradinaro won that race. She didn't come back in here. So all of these horses, anyone who wins here is on par for a championship at this point.
Yeah, and I think if you look back at the last few years, it feels like we've always had a leader in the clubhouse. To me, the clubhouse is empty at this point, and whoever wins this race kind of thrusts themselves into that conversation.
Championships, they're not won in June, but you can certainly talk yourself out of being part of that conversation. Let's go to Megan for more.
Well, I completely agree with Mig's comments about Nitrogen, as we were both there together with her through her campaign at Oaklawn Park. And I do find, as I've talked to Mark Casse extensively about how she's been training coming into Saratoga, she's happier. Her bullet drills at Keeneland have been something to be reckoned with. And I do find Oaklawn can be a place where you're training over the same surface, you're running over the same surface. And I saw horses, graded stakes level or not, get stale as the course of the meet drew on. And I do find she's taken a step forward physically. She has perked up. She loves this racetrack. That's something Mark Casse was incredibly keen on. And he told me, he said, Megan, I understand the argument of wanting to get this horse on turf. However, her best numbers give me every indication she will take a step forward as she embarks on this next Grade 1 test. But from what I can tell, the real Nitrogen may just come to play.
And yes, she was defeated last start, each of the last 2 starts, in fact. But she's coming off a performance in defeat where Clarette Beret ran off the screen, and she matched the best figure she's ever run in her career.
Right. She ran a winning race that day. It just wasn't good enough to win.
Yeah.
And that's the case. And, that's the thing I also love about Mark and how he runs his horses, Mark Casse. He's not afraid to lose. And if you're going to be successful in this game, you can't be afraid to lose.
I mean, Mark Casse saddled his first horse at the Great Barrington Fair when he was 16 years old. So he's been in this game for his entire life, and he's not afraid, like you said, to lose. And he puts them out there.
JK, to that point, I mean, that was a huge chance he took with this filly last year, middle of the year, to saying, hey, let's switch surfaces. She's the best turf filly in the land. Let's move to dirt and see what she can do, and it pays off with a championship.
Yeah, look, Mark Casse's game. He'll run horses back. Let's not forget what he did with Got Stormy when he ran back.
A week later.
Yeah, I mean, he's
beat the
always
boys in the 4-star Dave.
Absolutely, always game. The one thing I will say is, while Nitrogen, when you look at the board and you see her at 4 to 5, it's her price is my comment about her sometimes being disappointing because she's always well meant. She always shows up and runs. She's run 15 times. She's never been out of the trifecta. That's pretty impressive.
$2.4 million and counting in what's been a pretty incredible career to this point. You can play all the action, of course, the rest of tonight, Belmont Stakes Saturday, and all summer long and beyond at NYRABets.com. Belmont 25, that code to use to get signed up and started for new customers. So 4 to 5, Mig, to you. Obviously, you're not there. You're looking on a TV screen.
Sure.
How does Nitrogen look to you?
She looks sensational. This is the best I've seen her look this year. And I was up close and personal with Megan and I both at Oaklawn. I'd be out in the morning, watch her train. She just looks like she's really come together from the filly I saw her at Oaklawn Park. And she's tactical also. I think that helps her causes a lot because if they go really quick, which I don't anticipate, she could be further back. If they go slow, she could be right on top of it.
How quick will Pratt be out of the gate as well from that inside post on Fully Subscribed for Klarovich and Chad Brown? It is the Grade 1 Ogden Phipps presented by Ford. Huge race in this Distaff division. Winning you're in for the Breeders' Cup. Distaff with a reigning champion. 3-year-old filly. There she is, Nitrogen. Let's go upstairs. Frank Miramati with the call.
Bless the Broken will be the last one to load. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Ogden Phipps, presented by Ford. A perfect start. Fully Subscribed right to the front, but with immediate company from both Nitrogen and Bless the Broken. And those three line up. And in fact, now Nitrogen and Bless the Broken go on with it. Fully Subscribed is content to sit on the rail in third, and they're followed by Alpine Princess racing in between horses. Cassiar moves up, takes that fourth spot, now into third, 3 lengths off the lead. Regal will do her best running later on. Onto the backstretch, and Nitrogen takes charge and opens up, galloping smoothly under Jose Ortiz. Bless the Broken is a length back second, another 2 to Fully Subscribed and Cassiar, who are side by side. That opening quarter went in 23 3/5 seconds. Alpine Princess is fifth, heading toward the half-mile pole. She has 7 lengths to make up on Nitrogen, and Regal continues by herself, 47-1. Nitrogen rounds the far turn. Bless the Broken is now trying to get after her in second, but Nitrogen continues to breeze along, and it is Nitrogen in complete command. Now puts almost 3 on Bless the Broken. Flavien Prat gets busy on Fully Subscribed, trying to close the gap along the inside. Then Cassiar, Regal moving up outside Alpine Princess. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's Nitrogen in front by 3 lengths. Fully Subscribed trying her best, but not getting close to Nitrogen. Nitrogen is clearly still the best. She is on top and is absolutely romping home in the Ogden Phipps. Nitrogen trounces them by more than 10 lengths. A tight photo for second between Fully Subscribed and Bless the Broken. Regal was fourth in the Ogden Phipps, presented by Ford. What a performance from Nitrogen.
This division maybe not wide open anymore. Nitrogen absolutely dominant in the Ogden Phipps. 1 tick off the track record for 1 1/8 miles.
No, that was a tremendous performance by her. Fully Subscribed thought she had her in her sights around the turn. They came in the stretch, guys, and it was over.
Yeah, I mean, this was a tour de force. She got so comfortable on the lead, set legitimate fractions, not fast, not slow, kind of right in that wheelhouse of hers. She always drifts through the stretch. She won pretty easily, and a tick off the track record. Hey, really nice effort by Fully Subscribed. Although she's in a photo for place. Who came along?
She appeared to be second, though we didn't see it.
In a game where we've got champions and we love a champion. We love to see him come back. We're fortunate that we get to see him come back. It's performances like this that kind of move them into the category of being current superstars. I think Nitrogen is a superstar.
I mean, you want, I say it a lot, but you want the best horses to win the big races, and that's what happened here.
Dual Hall of Famer. Mark Casse, he loves to see his champ back getting her picture taken, no question.
I mean, he runs them, and they show up. This is a huge performance.
And a
by her.
homebred, too, for Len and John Green. That's got to be even more satisfying for them.
This is the connection. These are the ownership group that he won his 4,000th career race with.
Absolutely. And the other thing I would encourage people to look at here with her is look at how she's going right here. He's not even trying that hard on her at this point. Like, she's doing this all by herself.
Yeah, this was incredible. I mean, there were two completely different races being run here. The one Nitrogen was in, and everybody else.
So now all the questions went into, is she still the leader of this division? And now the question coming out of the race is, can anyone touch her?
If she keeps running like this, no. She's going to win. She's going to win another Breeders' Cup, and she's going to be the champion. Now, doesn't mean she's going to run this race the next time she runs, but races like this, nobody's beating her.
I tell you what, though, again, I'll go back to watching her all winter. She looked good. She looked like she took it to another level physically watching her warm up today.
Incredible performance. I mean, this is the show stealer of the day.
To put it in perspective, now she's a 4-year-old. This race was about 2 seconds faster than the Acorn today. So that's about 12 lengths, which is probably close to what she just won by here.
Yep.
But there was just no competition for her on the racetrack today. This was, I mean, we saw an amazing race earlier in the Bed of Roses, those two horses, but this was the performance of the day.
And it's June, but this is, you see by the saddle cloth, it is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup. And I'm sure she was going either way, but that definitely helps the
Well,
connections.
it's good to hear because they probably needed the money to get there too, you know?
Incredible performance in this Ogden Phipps by the reigning champion, 3-year-old filly. Let's go to Acacia.
And with Jose Ortiz, Jose, I remember when she got beaten nose in the Belmont Oaks, you said you were heartbroken. Now you get another grade 1 together. What does this filly mean to you?
It means a lot, you know. She's very special to us, everybody, Mark, the Greens, you know. And, you know, it's nice to see her run back to her form. I mean, I think, personally, she's been running great last couple times. She just got outrun, but, I mean, it was nice to see her today, and she's just afraid.
She's ready to go around again. I'll let you go in and get your picture taken. Congratulations, Jose. She still feels sharp after that victory, Greg.
What an incredible effort here. If we did think she'd gone away, she's back, no question with this. And, like, these were some of the main players of this division as well. She just trounced.
Yeah, this was an incredible performance by her. I mean, this is the best race she's ever run. I would be sure of that.
I agree.
And for the Exacta, Trifecta, Superfecta players at home, on the track, still, we don't know who ran second.
Right.
We're
it's
not
between,
hiding
for
it
one,
from you.
people wondering, it's between the one fully subscribed and the 6 Bless the Broken, with the 2 Regaled finishing 4th. But we don't know for sure who was second. It's very hard to tell.
I would say this is the performance of the day, but the race of the day was the Bed of Roses. As good a race as you're ever going to see.
Yeah, it may come up that race from a speed figure standpoint was actually faster, but this was, and you know, when you get a champion like this coming and they deliver like this is what big races are all about.
Winner's Circle lead-in brought to you by Fasig Tipton. Nitrogen, 8th win of her career in 16 starts and none. Well, the wonder again off the turf was pretty emphatic too. But this was
higher
by
level
far
race.
the most emphatic grade 1 win with authority, exclamation point.
Yeah, this was just a great performance, and these are the kind of races that you want to see when you see the big races, when you see the champions coming, and that's what we saw.
Statement victory by the reigning champion, 3-year-old filly in the Ogden Phipps. Nitrogen back atop this Distaff division. We'll be back after this.
A reputation of excellence isn't built overnight. Day by day, year by year, decade after decade. For over 100 years, Claiborne's commitment to quality has led to unrivaled success. Building on the past, building for the future. Claiborne Farm. The tradition continues.
Play the Belmont Stakes presented by Naira Bets. New members get a $25 free bet plus $200 deposit match bonus. Bet the third leg of racing's Triple Crown from historic Saratoga Racecourse. Download the Naira Bets app now to play any track, anywhere, anytime. The official wagering partner of the Belmont Stakes is Naira Bets. Sign up now and use promo code BELMONT25 to claim your $25 free bet plus $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
In this sport, it takes just one special horse and a lot of people that believe in him. By Champion Arrogant from the family of Broodmare of the Year, Better Than Honor, rose to prominence in the Grade 3 Peter Pan, displayed power in the Grade 1 Belmont, cemented his 3-year-old championship in the Grade 1 Travers, defeating a champion 2-year-old, Kentucky Derby, and Preakness winners.
And the Eclipse Award goes to Arcangelo.
Arcangelo, standing at Lane's End.
This is a special place where champions from around the world aren't just celebrated. They're made into legends. With every turn, every wager, every photo finish, every garland of purple and gold.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
When the Breeders' Cup comes back to Keeneland, it doesn't just crown a champion. It calls us home. The Cup is calling.
They're off in the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. Here's Dornoch, headstrong in the early going. Mindframe is 4 deep, but up and on the pace, and Antiquarian is in the field. Turns for home. Mindframe on the outside is coming after Dornoch. Dornoch in an absolute thriller. Dornoch and Mindframe. It will be Dornoch and Luis Saez to win the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga.
Back with you from the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival and our Fox Sports 1 coverage. You're watching America's Day at the Races, and just a show-stopping performance from the reigning champion 3-year-old filly Nitrogen here in this Ogden Phipps. Still some issues going on, obviously. We haven't seen who's going to round out underneath here.
The woodpecker is still making the photo.
We do know that Nitrogen won by many, many lengths. We're waiting to see who ran second, third, and fourth in here. But as we look at this performance now, going towards the rest of this summer and this year, winner from last year's Distaff, not part of the equation anymore. I mean, is there anyone, I guess, does a 3-year-old filly step up end of the year? We'll have to wait and see.
No 3-year-old fillies are beating that.
No,
and no
not at this
4-year-old
juncture.
fillies are beating that. No 5-year-old fillies. No 6-year-old fillies. Nobody's beating that.
I
mean,
don't
that
know
was
if any male horses are beating that.
That was an incredible performance by her today. Now, it does not mean she's gonna come back and run exactly that race next time. They are, as they say, not machines. No. But this was an incredible performance. And I'll tell you one thing, she certainly likes it up here.
No, she sure does. The good version of Nitrogen doesn't really get beat, and this looks like the good version of her. See what happens in her next race.
There is her dual Hall of Fame trainer, Mark Casse. Nitrogen at even money. Let's go to Megan.
Well, this is a family affair in this Ogden Phipps here with the Green family, Len Green, and of course John Green, who've campaigned and bred this champion and Grade 1 winner, Nitrogen. Nitrogen has just been the gift that's kept on giving. What's your emotions right now running through your head as she has yet another Grade 1 at Saratoga?
Well, it's really a family kind of affair between Lois and John, myself. It's a blessing. It's a real blessing, but all the credit goes to this kid. Okay?
As this is, of course, your son, John Green, you've done a tremendous job piloting this ship and being able to get your family to the highest peaks of racing. What does this one mean to you, getting her back after some doubters, maybe that she had reached her peak?
Yeah, you know, listen, we run our racing operation the way we run it. We run it as a business. We're not trying to impress anybody. We're not trying to quiet doubters. I think, though, that being said, she put the question of whether or not she should stay on the dirt to rest today.
Absolutely. What does her future look like? Is she going to stay right here at Saratoga?
Yeah, we would love for her to stay. There's a great 3-race series here at Saratoga, and then hopefully the Spinster, and then, you know, we just got the win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Distaff, so hopefully she'll be able to repeat into that race again. But it's a master plan that was put together by Dad and by Mark and myself when we were trying to give her a little time off in November, and she didn't want to have it, which is why she came back in February, and now the rest is history.
Incredible filly you have on your hands, a special one indeed. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Nitrogen does breathe different air.
Dead heat, by the way. That was the reason for that lengthy delay of not seeing who rounded out the top 4. Fully subscribed to 1, the 6 Bless the Broken, Dead Heat for 2nd, and then Regaled winds up in 4th.
I'm gonna say it. Nitrogen won like she was nitrous oxide.
You like nitrous oxide, yeah?
It's going to be
No comment on
hard.
that. It's a lot of dead shows, Richie.
This might be hard to top this performance all summer long.
No, you're right what you said. This is the kind of race that puts her in competition with the best males in the country as well. I mean, it's the kind of race that's going to get a giant speed figure. I mean, also the way she won it. It's not this, you see a competitive races. I mean, she was almost laughing at the horses. That's why I made the ridiculous, corny comment there. She literally laughed at the competition with an unbelievable performance. The track record was held by a horse named Lawyer Ron, Todd Pletcher in the Whitney, who had an impressive performance. He was a little faster. He wasn't as impressive as this, Richie.
No, and I mean, less than a fifth of a second off of the track record if you go by hundredths. In the history of Saratoga, for a mare to do that, a filly to do that, just incredible. And, another example of what is so great about coming to Saratoga, you see performances like that.
And to see a reigning champion put in a performance like that, to come back and show us there's more left in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very hard thing to do, to keep these horses' soundness. When we talk about it with Nitrogen, Mark just keeps running her, and she just keeps running well. It's really remarkable.
Belmont Stakes, the last ever to be contested here at Saratoga Racecourse. So one more time at 1.25 miles. And this is the field that will line up. Renegade likely to go off the favorite. We're going to talk emerging market, though. One of 3 chances for Chad Brown to get his first ever Belmont Stakes. Lost a shoe in the Kentucky Derby and was trying to do something, Andy, incredibly difficult. Win a Kentucky Derby, just your 3rd career start.
Yeah, it's a virtual impossibility. And even in talking to her owner, Seth Klarman, as he said, obviously we want to win the Derby, but it could end up being that the Derby is a prep for the Belmont Stakes.
Well, it's an interesting take on it. And I will tell you what, watching these horses train, I've been here since last Friday. He's been the most impressive in the morning. So I feel like he's taken his game up another notch.
And I've talked to Chad Brown when he's had horses lose shoes. Horses lose shoes. It's not that infrequent. And he said to me, it didn't matter. This horse wasn't winning, right? He said in this particular case, happening that early, in that long a race, it really put him off balance. And he wasn't really himself after the race.
As for growth equity, also for the Chad Brown barn, 4 starts coming off a Peter Pan win, JK. Every single start of his 4-race career, he's gotten better.
He's improving. I mean, we saw it earlier today for Chad. I mean, these horses can continue to improve, continue to get better. You might think it's one of them, but it actually is the other one. I don't have a problem with growth equity. I don't think growth equity can win if one of those other 5 horses shows up. He can certainly get in the mix.
Well, here's the argument for him if you want one at a price. There's a fair argument that the Derby and the Preakness were a bit disappointing, especially considering how good we thought some of these horses were coming in. And so maybe you want to look for a horse that wasn't in those races, and he would fit that bill.
You'll see the Belmont Stakes tomorrow live on Big Fox, 3 p.m. Eastern start time. For that coverage, we hope you join us. It is going to be a tremendous Saturday of action. I know you guys are all excited, but really so many important races on the card tomorrow.
Oh, an amazing racing card for Scum. And listen, the stakes are done, but there are 2 big fields and exceptionally competitive races left to go. And that's the thing about these cards. We've had amazing stake races, but the undercard races, the less important races, so to speak, are very, very interesting races. So don't turn off the TV. We got a lot more good stuff to come.
Here's the dead heat we talked about.
What took so long?
I mentioned it.
Looks
Fully
like
subscribed, Bless the Broken, but yeah, that picture took a while.
Well, they look like they're tied to me.
Up next, coverage continues, by the way. We're going to have a new crew, though, as we do a swap out. This next one, New York Breds. Entry-level allowance, 7/8 of a mile. And it's the 6, Grace and Grit. Right now, the favorite for the Amelia Green barn. Jamie Rodriguez will be aboard. Crew swap. Lafitte, Simon Bray. Coming in next, Todd Pletcher. Got his first ever Classic win with a filly in the Belmont. Can he get his 5th with Renegade tomorrow? We will find out shortly. Next crew will talk about it after this short timeout.
This is the pathway that the Belmont Stakes horses will walk down for the third and final Belmont Stakes at Saratoga, but there's no better place than the Spa, and there's no better fans. So I want to hear who they like. Hi guys. I gotta know, who do you guys like though? It's you, who do you like for the Belmont?
Oh gosh, don't ask me. I don't even.
Golden Tempo.
Ramp likes Renegade, oh?
Were you like about to sprint here? You got the right shoes on.
Yeah, I could do anything today, and this is Saratoga, so it's perfect.
I like Renegade.
I'd say Renegade.
I like Renegade.
Probably Commandment, but I haven't really focused totally, but
Okay.
Chief Wannabe maybe.
All right.
Even though this is not the place to take favorites.
You said it.
Belmont, I'm going Emerging Market.
I really like Emerging Market.
I like what she likes.
Oh.
Renegade. I like Renegade.
I'm a Chief Wallaby guy.
I'm rooting for Golden Tempo, but I'm betting on Renegade.
Oh my gosh, an exclusive with this year's Kentucky Derby winning trainer. Well, who do you like in Belmont? Oh, Golden Tempo. I thought you'd like Renegade.
Now I'm gonna stick with Golden Tempo.
I think that's probably smart.
And we love the fans here at Saratoga, including some special celebrity guest sightings in that Maggie on the Loose, which is a lot of fun. We have horses in the paddock for race 13, a New York bred allowance going 7 furlongs on the main track. And we'll start down to the inside with the horse coming back to make her 3-year-old debut in the number 1 Angel Gift for Todd Pletcher. She debuted with a dominant score as a 2-year-old at first asking and was pretty impressive in doing so. Eligible for that restricted maiden special weight race because she is a New York bred and she has a lovely pedigree, being the half sister to Grade 1 winner Cave Rock. But a lot of horses in this family were quite precocious and didn't really go on. So I was curious to see how she did, how she would appear in here today. She really hasn't grown much, but she has filled out, which I appreciate, and she looks incredibly fit coming back off the layoff. I do like the slight cutback in distance for her. I think the 7 furlongs should suit her. Like I said, I just wish we did see a little bit more physical progression as she comes back off the bench and facing older for the first time, but she looks prepared for her first start back off the bench. The number 7, Carly B, broke her maiden last time out for Dave Duggan, and she got the win that day when breaking a little bit slowly and awkwardly, and she was hard ridden by Ricardo Santana to get her into the race, and she finished much the best that day. She was not the quickest getting out of the gate on debut either when she had the rail. I did notice that she had a piece of equipment on today that maybe could help with the gait, but also with some steering as well. She has a burr on her right side, so it's a small round rubber piece that goes on the outside of the right cheek, on the outside of the bit there, and when a jockey pulls the reins, it applies a little bit more pressure to the outside cheek, encouragement to stay straight and to respond to the rider's cues. It's a piece of equipment that Dave Duggan uses relatively frequently and can be incredibly effective. She is a big imposing filly marching around the paddock here and looking like she's doing very well, coming in off the back of her maiden win, and I do love the 7 furlongs for her. The number 10, Margarita Molly, I thought a bit intriguing. Not only did she face Open Company last time, and she gets back in against her fellow New York breds today, but she completely hopped at the start after being antsy at the gate. She was last early. She just never looked comfortable, and she was totally taken out of her game. Her preferred running style is to be forward. She's been very calm, cool, and collected here in the paddock. I'll watch her on the track, but she looks so much more fit today as well. Second off the bench for Carrie Bryan. Hopefully she gets out of the gate better today to put herself into the race. So we welcome in back onto the set, Lafitte Pinkai.
Acacia, thanks so much. Joining Andy Serling and Simon Bray on set just outside the paddock. Simon, great to have you on the team, and welcome to Saratoga.
I've worked with many combinations of talent in this business, but this is a first. It just keeps, it's like the cups where you keep spinning them around.
You think there's talent up here? Where exactly is the talent?
I'm looking at him right there.
I went out and bought a new suit just so I could dress like you.
Known you about 20 plus years. Yeah, first time we've ever been on a broadcast.
Exactly,
together.
and I'm looking forward to it. It was on earlier today, but been looking forward to this shift.
We've humiliated ourselves on the air a few times. I think dressing up as the betologists.
Exactly.
Perhaps was a low point for the both of us.
Yes, that was actually.
Professional careers.
To do more of just that as we look ahead to the Belmont Stakes, the field with that is the morning line in the early wagering. We've seen Renegade 6-5 Andy, for the Derby runner-up for Todd Pletcher. Pletcher looking for a fifth Derby. The early wagering, you and I have had this conversation, it tends to trend in that very direction based on what you see as far as the early money coming in.
Much more than you would think it would, right? We've seen him, the odds don't change that much. I simply do not get it, Simon. I absolutely understand why he is one of the main horses in here, but I don't see what makes him more likely to win than Chief Wallaby, Emerging Market, or Commandment. He can win. I think he is way overbet.
I would agree with you. I think what happens, in my experience, horses that have trouble trips, easily visible trouble on tape, they always get overplayed in their next start. And the takeaway from the Kentucky Derby was, well, he got smashed in the first 200 yards. If he didn't, he would be closer. Might have finished in front of Golden Tempo. I don't buy it. I think he's too short of a price. I think, you know, Chief Wallaby had a bad trip in the Derby.
I think if he's closer, he might finish farther back.
Yes.
Because in that race, you wanted to be farther back. And I'll say something out about Todd Pletcher's record in the Belmont. Todd Pletcher has a great record in just about every race in America. But his edge in the Belmont Stakes is his incredible ability to find the right horses at 12 furlongs. This one's at 10.
Yeah, we've had the Derby was exciting, the Preakness was exciting, but not the best Derbies of recent memory, right? So if you look collectively that the Derby, okay, it was you're not necessarily intimidated by those horses coming back in the Belmont Stakes. Maybe you're looking for a fresh face, Simon. Maybe that horse is power shift.
It could be power shift, yeah, for obviously Rapoli and Todd Pletcher as well. Just coming off a maiden win, though. I mean, he's going to have a tactical edge. It's pretty obvious what they're going to do. They're going to send him, you know, he's not a rabbit. He's in there on his own account. And he deserves a shot in it. This is what Andy's talking about, Pletcher's record in the Belmont Stakes.
And long shots running second and third, not just the wins he has. The thing about that horse we're talking about is that I think there's a chance that he could be one of the best horses in this division. If you like Emerging Market like I do, why would that horse not be a contender? He finished just behind him in both of their debuts. I don't think he's quite ready for this test.
Right.
I think he's biting off a little bit more than he can chew right now, but I think there's a chance by the end of the year he's one of the main players in this division.
Close to 6,000 wins, I think, this week, or is it,
This week or overall?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
That would be a good week.
Yeah.
Todd Pletcher, two-time Derby winning trainer. Mike Rapoli, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, the Derby. For him, it's been the most frustrating 2 minutes in sports. Uncle Mo, Derby favorite, scratched. Stay Thirsty did run back in 2011. Not the last time you'd hear from him, though he finished off the board in the Derby. From 2013 to 22, 6 Derby runners owned or co-owned by Rapoli, none better than 5th. Mo Donegal, remember his name. Following year, it happened again. Forte, Rapoli owned Derby favorite to scratch. Second time that happened, Bruce Foote. Unreal. Following year, Rapoli owns another Derby favorite. Fierceness, the good news, he ran. The bad news, he ran 15th. 12 months later, it's getting painful. Grande, cracked heel, scratched by the regulatory vets. Unbelievable. And finally, 5 weeks ago, Renegade made the race, shoots his shot, defeated a neck by Golden Tempo. So close and yet so far for Mike Rapoli. More Kentucky Derby.
I was going to say, any new owner getting into the game, show them that little piece there. That's a snapshot, the ups and downs.
There are great riders and great trainers who have never won a Kentucky Derby.
Right.
There's no guarantees in this sport.
And there is Rapoli, but several of those horses that it wasn't their time to shine Derby Day wound up resurfacing a little bit later on and reaching great heights. Stay Thirsty, one that comes to mind. Mo Donegal and Ness running 1-2 in the Belmont Stakes. So we'll see about Renegade in the Belmont Stakes next Saturday. Over to Megan Burgess.
Well, owner Michael Ibarone knows a thing or two about making a solid private purchase and it paying dividends. As we'll get to Ben Tornado in a moment, but the number 6 Grayson Grit has just really found form with Amelia Green. What ultimately led you to making that acquisition?
The truth is, I like to buy horses for races, right? And we knew we were coming this weekend, and one of my bloodstock agents brought this filly to me and said that she's a New York bred, still has all her conditions. Gave me a price, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun. And Amelia's been doing a great job, so I feel like we're lucky to be with her.
Absolutely lighting it up in New York, but tomorrow's the big day, Ben Tornado, and what turned out to be a $1 million almost bet Wednesday led to a Breeders' Cup championship for Ben Tornado. What was going through your mind that entire week and that kind of payoff?
So when I saw him in the paddock schooling for the Breeders' Cup, I said, I have to buy this horse. I mean, he's just one of the most special-looking animals I have ever put my hands on. 17 hands, 1,300 pounds, and that fast. So we bought him with expectations and hopes, and he showed up, and he proved us to be fortunate and right. And then he took us to Dubai, and now he brings us here on a path to the Breeders' Cup again. So we're just really, really lucky to be in this position with such a special horse.
Well, best of luck in here and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Looking forward to it, guys.
Looking forward to that matchup with Ben Tornado and Bokum Dano, and tomorrow is Grade 3 True North.
Simon's wearing that outfit tomorrow, actually.
He borrowed that
Ruined
from
it for
Simon.
you.
Yeah, exactly. He took it from
I'm
me.
going to go out and get
man.
it so we
Catch
could be
up.
on together wearing it.
I left it in the lobby for him.
Grace and Grit, Andy, 9-5. Trustworthy, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, there's two main players in here, right? Not they have to win. Grace and Grit is in great form for Amelia Green, if you're not familiar with her. Assistant to Todd Pletcher, who's gotten her own for over a year. She does nothing but win. She's done an exceptional job. Carly B, who should have won her debut, had a massively bad trip, came back with a big win. They're the two horses to beat. I'm going to try to beat them with a ridiculous horse, the 10 Margarita Molly. I could use a Margarita, and probably our friend Molly that works with us wouldn't mind having one as well. And it's been a good day, but I could still use a Margarita. Margarita. I think the 6 or 7 are the ones to beat, but I have a little idea with the 10.
We're on the same page here. We didn't compare notes beforehand. I think Grace and Grit's the horse to beat. The price paid would be Margarita Molly. She lost all chance at the start. If you look back at the replay, tossed ahead. She was never involved in the race. Second off the layoff here, I think she could be interesting.
Yeah, for me, I picked her last time. Now, it may have been just another bad pick, and I lost a few dollars. If I picked her last time, Simon, I have to take a shot with her. I have to give her one more chance.
And it was an open company race. It was a much tougher spot than today.
I agree.
10-1 currently. Horses making their way front side, called to post. New York breds, 7/8 of a mile, fillies and mares. 8-5, Carly B. Let's meet the field, starting with Angel Gift. Team Renegade, 5-1.
She has kept extremely tough company since breaking her maiden first time out. She took a step backwards. Can she take a step forward? She's taken a lot of money.
Followed by Cloudy Chance, should be involved early.
Yeah, she's a big price, 22-1. Problem is she's got to make up 10 lengths on Grace and Grit in here.
Princess Wadaldi, she's won 2 of 3, lightly raced.
And scratched.
And scratched. Oh, yeah, that. Why don't you tell me?
I just did.
Thanks a lot.
I'm there for you.
Team player, Irish Fortune, 10-1 currently. Then a contender in Grace and Grit.
Grace and Grit, second time blinkers. We talked about Amelia Green. She's the informed horse. I think 2-1's a fair price on her.
Carly B. Ricardo Santana, currently 8-5, followed by Floyd Joy, back to dirt.
Yeah, Floyd Joy, all or nothing. She went gate to wire in her debut, and then it was a disaster last time when she bolted.
Margarita Molly, both you guys in her corner.
I think so. I mean, like I said, I think the legitimate excuse was what happened at the start last time.
I think to expand on that a little bit, she was making her first start as a 3-year-old.
Yep.
And while she wasn't fast enough on speed figures to win this in her 2-year-old races, routinely horses going from 2 to 3 within the 6 months, they'll get faster, 8, 10 points. If she can get improved off those races from last year, then she's good enough to have a chance at 10-1.
5 minutes out till the 13th of 14 on the eve of the Belmont Stakes. One final time here at Saratoga as our coverage continues. And then in September, the new Belmont Park opens. And for next year's Belmont, back downstate. You're watching America's Day at the Races on FS1.
Announcing the Empire Trillium Series, a multi-year $3.2 million 14-race program at the brand new Belmont Park and Woodbine Racetrack, restricted to New York or Canadian foaled horses. This new event kicks off the day after Christmas with 4 2-year-old stakes races on Belmont's new Tapeta surface and continues all spring and summer through late July at Woodbine. The Empire Trillium Series. To learn more and enroll either New York or Canadian breds, go to NYRA.com/EMPTRI.
Definitely the best horse I've ever had in training.
Sierra Leone has won the Whitney.
Sierra Leone, gun runner reaching for the wire. Sierra Leone does it in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Today was the day that he got it done. It was Sierra Leone.
This is where it all begins. These are the recruits for next year. They're going to be part of our roster, part of our team.
The pavilion was jam-packed. It has remained jam-packed.
Phenomenal feeling in the pavilion, on the grounds, in the back ring.
You have a chance to make 5, 10, 100x.
Big sale with a lot of quantity, but they're going to sell over 4,000 horses here.
We had quality racehorses today, I believe, that will go on and we'll be reading about in years to come.
Keelan Sale, you got to be here.
And it's lights out. Locked. Pouring it on. Running aggressively through the stretch to win by 7 easy lengths.
Here is Locked. Locked racing by on the outside for the lead. Locked, the wine steward. It is Locked.
Here comes Locked after Mulligan. Locked catching with every single stride, and Locked will win the Cigar Mile.
It's all about Locked, dominating the big cap, cruising home to an effortless 8-length romp.
Here at the brand new Belmont Park, we have incredible box seating where you have the finish line right behind you, so you never miss the finish of an exciting race. If you can't see it here, check it out on the 65 feet high and 115 feet wide LED viewing screen, so you never miss a second of these exciting races here. The box seating holds anywhere from 4 to 8 people, and it spans 2/3 of the grandstand.
I'll be there before long. Reimagine, rebuilt Belmont Park, but one final time here at Saratoga. Belmont Stakes takes place right here. Historic Saratoga Racecourse for the third and final time before we return to the new Belmont Park. Visit BelmontStakes.com/tickets to be part of the final jewel of the Triple Crown on Saturday. Over to Megan as we approach post time for the 13th on this eve of the Belmont.
Thanks, Lafitte. I thought this was a fun race as the number 7, Carly B, will take on these winners for the first time. And when speaking with her trainer, David Duggan, that this is a functionality of wanting to stretch her out in distance. And I would agree, as she does look like one that could even appreciate going longer as she does take that next step. But she's one to me that I do find has the propensity to move forward with ground. But here today, she looked absolutely fantastic. I know she was a standout in her last race, but she's continued to mature and improve. She ran the winning race 2 back as she'll take on Floyd Joy yet again. But I do find that she does have the right tools to move forward. Lafitte, this is a competitive one, but I do find she has some certain raw ability.
Carly B, currently 6-5. For more on her, over to Acacia.
And she is my top pick in here. I think I agree with Meg. She's moving forward in the right direction. But as far as Grayson Grit is concerned, right inside of her, she has more experience for Amelia Green, as we heard from some of the new owners back in the paddock. Her first start with Blinkers was last time out, and she took a ton of money and she delivered. She is a horse that, while she has never really grown too much, she has continued to fill out and improve. This is probably the best that I've ever seen Grayson Grit look, which I do appreciate for a horse that is in good form right now. I wanted to talk about one long shot, though, the 4 Graceful Rose. I think that she's going to run better today. She faced a very in-form horse last time out in Helen's Revenge. And look, she was incredibly disappointed. She dropped back to last. She couldn't keep up with the field. I did not like the way that she warmed up that day. She was taking a long time to get going. She never really picked up the bit, not moving as fluidly as I would have liked. She's the exact opposite today. She jumped right into the bridle. It actually caught Manny Franco off guard a little bit when they broke the post parade, and he had to use an indirect rein to try to settle her a little bit, but moving so much better and much better energy today at a big price, Lafitte.
25-1. Manny Franco having a productive Belmont Stakes Racing Festival week.
4 yesterday, was it? 4. Yeah.
I laughed because I saw him on the way out on Wednesday. And if you know Manny, you love Manny. And I said, great day today. He goes, I won 1. And I went, it's a good day. And I wanted to see him later and say, I was just a day early.
Just getting warmed up. 4 wins yesterday, Manny Franco. There you're looking at the favorite, Carly B at 6-5. All right, you guys, with Margarita Molly, currently 9-1, the 10 horse. What's the key? If she's going to be successful, what needs to happen early on?
Well, first of all, she has to get out of the gate, unlike last time.
There you go.
And she is a forwardly placed horse. I mean, she's not that fast, but she's not that slow. So if she breaks, she gets in a good stalking position. I imagine, as you had mentioned a little bit earlier, Cloudy Chance is probably going to be forward in here. A couple other horses scratched, the 3 and 9. They had speed. So Margarita Molly and Carly B are probably going to be the ones that are in attendance of the number 2.
Yeah, big scratch in the 9, I think, is helping Margarita Molly from a pace perspective. And yeah, if she breaks, she's got a good outside draw. She sits a perfect trip, I think.
As the favorite backs off, now coaxed forward, Carly B. Up to Frank Mirmati with the remainder of the load and call race 13 live from Saratoga, the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival.
Okay, Lafitte, there's Graceful Rose taking up her spot. Just a few more to go in. Irish Fortune goes in smoothly. Margarita Molly. They're in the gate. And they're off, and Margarita Molly had a very nice start. Irish Fortune, too. These two hook up right out of the gate, and Angel Gift along the inside is hustled into contention as well. Cloudy Chance is racing in 4th, now passed by Floyd Joy, a couple of lengths back to Carly B, who's on the outside of Grace and Grit, and that leaves Graceful Rose at the back of the field. So it's Irish Fortune who's the quickest over Angel Gift, and they clicked off that opening quarter in 22 and 2/5 seconds. 3 back, Cloudy Chance in 3rd. Margarita Molly is now at about the 6th spot. She was up close, but has dropped right out of it into the far turn. In the meantime, Cloudy Chance is joined by Grace and Grit. Grace and Grit takes that 3rd position. Carly B has about 9 to make up. Graceful Rose is picking up some momentum inside of her. And then Margarita Molly, 45 flat for the pace setter, Irish Fortune. Angel Gift right up within a length and a half of her as they reach the top of the stretch. Behind them, Grace and Grit is finishing nicely, and Carly B down the center of the racetrack. They're coming to the 16th pole. Also, Graceful Rose in traffic, making headway. Grace and Grit trying to get to Irish Fortune. Irish Fortune digs in, maintains a 2-length lead. Irish Fortune takes them virtually coast to coast. Grace and Grit second best. Graceful Rose 3rd. Carly B finished 4th.
Winning trainer Tom Morley, Irish Fortune, and Luis Saez in the 13th at Saratoga.
When Luis Saez is riding the top of his game, which led him to a riding title at Saratoga over the virtually unbeatable Ortiz brothers, that's the way he rides, Simon.
Happy Tom Morley there. Had a lot of seconds, a lot of close photos, right, Andy, at the meet?
Tom has been about as unlucky as any trainer in the game over the last couple of months. I'm glad to see him get a win. He's taken some brutal beats.
He's happy
you
about it.
You can see how fired up he is in just that win. It's like a baseball player who's been in a slump, and whether it's just a flare that drops in, or a ground ball with eyes, or a guy who's cold shooting in basketball, just seeing one go through the hoop, getting that one win, and it kind of feels like a turn to the corner.
And I know he's watching on a stretch and he's saying to himself, I know something's going to go wrong. Somebody's going to come and nail me at the wire. Somehow can I get there? And they could not get there. Very strange effort from the number 7, Carly B, who seemed to be getting out of Ricardo Santana. She had no early speed and she was getting out. She did not run well today.
Pace, complexion change. Luis Saez did a good job taking advantage of that. 7 out of the mix on the front end. He took advantage of it. Cleanest horse home, won the race.
14-1 in the end. 5, 6, 4, 7. Irish Fortune, Grace and Grit to the outside, challenges, but never a real threat as Irish Fortune digs in.
And the good news for me is I am now finished losing money on Margarita Molly.
Done.
She broke sharp today.
She was in the trifecta for the first 1/8 of a mile.
To Megan with winning trainer Tom Morley.
Well, an emphatic victory for trainer Tom Morley. Of course, Irish Fortune takes advantage of the lead. She got forward and just looked cozy the rest of the way.
She is so like her mum. It's scary. I trained the dam, and if she got on the lead, she was so hard to get by. And a super ride by Louis. And really cool for these guys. Everyone's here. Bill Breda. You couldn't ask for a better day out.
Absolutely, but you've believed in this filly from the beginning. I mean, you tried her in that stakes competition, but now as she's continued to develop, what has she been able to show you how she's put it together?
So we both agreed in the paddock we think she's actually growing now. Finally, she's going through a bit of a physical change. Of course, I tried her on the grass. That proved to be completely the wrong thing to do, but, you know, I actually think a little bit more ground again. She just gets so comfortable in the front end, and you know, the whole way down the lane, I'm looking behind her, but she just kept finding the whole way down, and it was wonderful.
It surely was. This is a fun crew you've got. How does it feel to get a victory in Belmont Stakes
We're
Week?
bringing an army.
You surely did. What does this one mean to you this week?
Well, you know, we bred the mom. It's a great little filly. Tom said, I think she wants to go a little longer. She's been training great, and you know what? She showed it today.
She did. This was a fun way to nearly close out this card, Lafitte, and some pretty cool customers here in a very happy winner's circle.
They'll enjoy that one. And for a trainer, just because horses aren't winning doesn't mean they're not running well. Morley's runners, they've been running well, just having to settle for second and third place finishes.
Listen, Simon, you trained for a long time. You know what it's like, and it can turn around, and it feels like everything's going right, but more often than not, it feels like everything's going wrong.
Right, and it's not always your fault. I mean, you know, it's whether the right races come up, the condition book is, you know, setting up right for you for the horses you got in the barn. But this is a good effort, especially if they stretch her out. If she's a need the lead type, which it sounds like she is, she's going to find that lead a little easier to get if she goes a little longer with her sprint speed.
In this game, you're never as good as you look, and you're rarely as bad as you look. Except you, Lafitte.
She looked good this afternoon. Much appreciated. Irish Fortune and a 5, 6, 4, 7 unofficial order of finish. With one left here at Saratoga. Louis Size 2 wins this afternoon. Irish Fortune, second overall. Our Saratoga debut, a victorious one. And Tom Morley had her cranked up, ready to roll, and scores in the 13th here at the Spa. Nightcap remains, plus Bob Baffert, two-time Triple Crown winning trainer. No Belmont runner, but he does have one for the Woody Stevens. Crude Velocity, one of the most exciting 3-year-olds in training. Coming in hot, undefeated for now. something you see every day at the racetrack there, Simon.
Look at that. Alexi
You
Lawless.
and Alexi Lawless fans, if you are.
Yeah, big World
Twice
Cup.
the
What was
fun,
that,
my friend.
94? I
About
think
that.
94
yeah.
World Cup. Yep.
That was Will Ferrell
Fierce
for a second.
defender. That was 5 of them.
Yeah. What's the plural of Lawless? Alexi Lawless. Lawlesses?
Lawless-A?
Lawless-A.
Lawless-A?
It's like 7:30 at night. Please stop.
This is the biggest, most popular sport
What
in
are
the
they
world,
doing?
Andy.
What sport would that be? Horse racing, I thought.
Moments ago, race 13, Irish Fortune. Those Lawless-A or Lawlesses better be out of the way and off the track. She was impressive.
Yeah, she was. She was. I mean, I know that, there's been a lot of talk, and we had an extreme inside bias on Wednesday. It mitigated a little bit yesterday. I believe it's mitigated a lot today. I'm not saying the track wasn't kind to her, but Simon, you've been around a long time. Dirt tracks are kind to speed by their very nature.
Yes. American dirt racing, if you're the fastest horse, you have a huge advantage. A huge advantage.
Yeah, I think this track is mitigated, especially enough to say that likely tomorrow will be very fair.
All you want. All you want, fair track on a day like tomorrow with the Belmont Stakes. 14th and final. Quickly, Andy, who'd you wind up with this maiden affair mile on the inner turf course?
You thought Margarita Molly was an idiotic pick. Wait till you see No Rain, No Flowers.
Awesome.
I raise you. Okie Finoki. I got Tom Morley
I
winning
gotta
too.
admit, I don't have the most idiotic pick in this race. Simon has eclipsed me here. No Rain, No Flowers is one turf race. She was wide. I thought it was the day the rail was the place to be on that turf course with the rails down. I thought she ran okay there. I'm not saying she's a likely winner, but I think she's a much more likely winner than her current 20-1 plus odds.
Whose pick is more idiotic? We'll find out in 25 minutes for the nightcap. And looking ahead to everything taking place tomorrow afternoon, wall-to-wall Grade 1 activity, one of the best days of racing anywhere. Belmont Stakes Saturday included Woody Stevens, presented by Mohegan Sun. 3-year-olds here, 7/8 of a mile, 9 strong. And Crude Velocity, 9-5 morning line favorite. Incredibly talented, undefeated, and gets to hook up with Englishman once again, as they did in the Pat Day Mile.
There may be an argument, though they're very different kinds of horses, but the best 3-year-old in the Cerritos barn is Englishman, not Golden Tempo. He's brilliant. He's fast. Tried to go a mile last time. Could not get the best of Crude Velocity. Maybe 7 furlongs can neutralize things a bit. Crude Velocity, I think, arguably might be the most talented 3-year-old in the country. But he has a flaw, which I know you're aware of. He can't get out of the gate. He breaks a little slowly every time. Not that slowly, but just slowly enough. And I think with Englishman breaking right outside of him, Jose Ortiz will have one eye peeled, his left eye, to the horse next to him. And if Crude Velocity breaks a little slow, that door is going to be closed instantly.
I agree with your comment. I think he is probably the most talented 3-year-old in the country. He was, I spent 10 days at the Kentucky Derby, and this was the horse that everybody was talking. His works in California were unbelievable. There's 2 horses that I've seen work lights out over the years. They're 22 years. American Pharoah was one. This horse stacks up right there, what he was doing in the morning, and he backed it up at Churchill Downs.
Every one of his races has been brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, he was beating legit older horses in his second start, and not just beating them, embarrassing.
Yeah, it could be a big afternoon for Bob Baffert. Again, no Belmont runner, but Crude Velocity and the Woody Stevens and Nysos. Breeders' Cup Challenge event. Winning your in for the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, the Met Mile. Nysos drawn inside. Last year's Preakness hero journalism to the outside. Nysos. Simon, what do you expect from him as we look back at his Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile victory last year?
Tremendous detail. What's he, a length of nose away from being undefeated? And, this was, we saw a great race this afternoon in the Bed of Roses. This would match up with it in this race here, beating Citizen Bull. I think the Saudi Cup, obviously the distance. You look at his pedigree, Andy, you'd think the mile and 8 shouldn't be a trip. I think he's more effective at the shorter mile and a 16th trip.
And I don't know a lot about him, but I heard the horse who beat him that day is pretty good.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, he arguably may have lost to the best dirt horse in the world.
Exactly.
Breeders' Cup winner, almost won the Kentucky Derby. Many people think he should have won the Kentucky Derby. Forever Young beat him if you don't realize it. Nysos, I agree. He's brilliant. And I'm a huge fan. I like him. I respect journalism a great deal. I think the real X factor in here is Knightsbridge. Knightsbridge can be the speed in this race, but did he run those big races at Gulfstream and he's got nothing left in the tank? Because, yeah, the pace was hot last time, but he did not run well at Churchill.
Yeah, for me, from a betting standpoint, I'm seeing 7-2 on the morning line. I'm wanting 8-1 on him. I think he's way too much of an underlay.
Enough going on for you tomorrow. Will this work?
It's never
Up to
enough.
Andy standards?
But it's never enough, but this is pretty damn good.
It's only part of the day. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there.
15 races left, including the 14th today.
In about 10 minutes, 14th and final. But first, Belmont Week Kart Talk. It's a good one. Trainer Will Walden has Rhetorical going into Manhattan, but the highlight of his week already behind him. That's next. You're watching America's Day at the Races.
Play the Belmont Stakes presented by Naira Bets. New members get a $25 free bet plus $200 deposit match bonus. Bet the third leg of racing's Triple Crown from historic Saratoga Racecourse. Download the Naira Bets app now to play any track, anywhere, anytime. The official wagering partner of the Belmont Stakes is Naira Bets. Sign up now and use promo code BELMONT25 to claim your $25 free bet plus $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Coming, Explora's down toward the rail, but it's always a runner. She's going to do it in the Kentucky Oaks. Always a runner. She's all the runners on top of the world.
As a lifestyle guard, I help people live their best day in the sun. That means keeping the games going. Coming to the rescue when the floaty is too floppy. And delivering high noon when the cooler's empty.
Oh, do you have any peach?
High noon, sun's up.
A warrior from the start.
Dornoch is coming back. Dornoch in the Remsen.
What separates the best isn't just talent, it's meeting the moment. Look your rival in the eye and say, not today.
It will be Dornoch to win the Belmont Stakes.
And Dornoch stubborn. Dornoch wins the Haskell.
A world-class athlete made for the fight. That's Dornoch.
How much are you planning on being here this summer? Full meal deal?
Yeah, we're gonna come up, I think, probably like a week before the meet starts. I applied for about 20, might bring 15.
So tell me the story how a trainer's son turned basketball player, turned exercise rider, turned grade 1 winning trainer. How'd that all unfold?
How long is this ride? I mean, training was always what I wanted to do. And so I think throughout life, on the racetrack and off, everything was geared towards trying to gain knowledge, whether in leadership and basketball and working with a team, or just absorbing everything I could like a sponge for the guys I worked for on the track in order to train one day.
What's a 6'5" exercise rider look like?
I never said I was 6'5". When anybody asked, I said I was 5'17". And it seemed to play well. People couldn't compute it right away, so they'd just leg me up, and then I'd go a couple times around the barn and they'd think about it, but by then it was too late. Like, I was already there. You know, I was already on the horse. Stirrups were set, everything. I'd say for the first month, I walked around with my helmet and my vest. I got no play. Like, actually, I tell you what, at the training center, the Thoroughbred Training Center in Lexington, there was these two guys. They put me on one of their horses so that they could see it run off with me around the track.
Now, Dale Romans had a pretty strict rule about riding for him, huh?
Yeah, said anybody that can dunk a basketball can't gallop horses for him. I couldn't really argue with it, so I stuck around as a foreman.
Rhetorical in Irad Ortiz all the way to victory.
Rhetorical has always been a good horse for you, but it feels like at this point of your career, whenever your career ends, you're going to look back and he's going to be the one that you remember as the one who kind of got it all started for you.
Yeah, I mean, I joke around with my guys, but I'm not really joking. This is the house that Rhetorical built. I owe him everything. He's been such a consistent, iconic athlete throughout the New York bred ranks and in his first couple years running, and then to take it to the next level, to win grade ones at Keeneland and Churchill. I mean, he's incredible. I want to really soak in and savor and appreciate this time, because you don't know if you'll ever get another horse like him.
Growing up as a trainer's son, you know, your dad, Elliott Walden, you've been a part of some pretty special Belmonts. Is there any that really stick out for you?
98.
Victory Gallop, a final surge. It's going to be very close. Here's the wire. It's too close to call.
Victory Gallop was, you know, talk about another horse that, you know, I guess he probably meant for my dad what Rhetorical means to me.
You remember pretty distinctly, like were you at home watching it? And
I wish you hadn't have brought this up. He left me at home, which was just that was a poor parenting decision. We got dropped off at the YMCA. Didn't even get to watch the race. I mean, I had to find out from the woman that picked us up. As I said, I've tried to block this out. I mean, I've tried to remember the race and pretend like I was actually a part of it and was there. But no, I was at the YMCA of A, hanging out with 50 other kids while Victory Gallop won the Belmont.
Oh my God.
I swear to God.
He's still processing that. Like, he hasn't quite made peace with the fact that he wasn't there watching Victory Gallop deny Real Pride a Triple Crown instead at the YMCA.
I'm still bitter that my freshman year at college that freshman orientation started the Thursday before Travers.
Wow.
And my parents made me go to freshman orientation, and I missed like the last 9 days of the 24-day meet. I'm still bitter about
How
that.
did college work out for you?
I saw a lot of dead shows.
Sitting here between the two
I'm
of
sitting
us.
with you guys.
Yeah,
I
that
go that
answers your
badly.
question. Brought to you by Gainesway Card Talk. 5'17" Will Walden, the house that Rhetorical built. What are you expecting from Rhetorical in the Manhattan? Take a look at the field at yet another Grade 1 race tomorrow.
Obviously, he's a very good horse, and I wouldn't deny that. I don't believe he'll be favored. I think Bright Picture will be favored. I think if our morning line maker had more than 20 minutes to make the morning line, he probably would have made Bright Picture favored. Rhetorical is going to have to stalk deterministic speed. Now, Rhetorical can stalk, but this huge performance last time, Simon, came when he could control on the front end. He's good, but is he this good in a different circumstance?
Right, that's the thing, and you got to take note of the horse that ran second to him. I thought that was a great
Horse ran super.
Make Me King coming in, you know, from the Middle East there. I thought that was a great performance. He was a lone pace setter up on the front end. Nobody else was closing. And if he gets a little better pace to close into, he's going to be tough.
And I think one of the worst trips, especially for a Euro coming over, it's not a great one for any horse, in these turf routes is to be 3 wide without cover the whole way. Especially the Euros who are trained with cover much more sometimes than our horses. And he was still finding at the end behind a loose leader. No one's saying he was supposed to beat Rhetorical that day, but I agree with you. I think that horse is a little sneaky. I also like Graham Motion's horse, One Stripe. I think Test Score will run better with an inside post, but I think One Stripe, who ran better than Rhetorical did in the Maker's Mark at Keeneland, I would not fall asleep on that horse either, but I believe if Andre Faub's Bright Picture shows up, he will win this race. He's skipping the Prince of Wales to run in this race, a race at Ascot, one of the most prestigious races in Europe, because he doesn't want to face that monster Duriz, who keeps beating him.
And the penultimate race to the Belmont Stakes in Manhattan, and you can play it at NYRA Bets. If you haven't signed up, what are you waiting for? Belmont Stakes Saturday tomorrow. When you do sign up, use that promo code Belmont25. Enjoy betting in over 300 tracks around the world. Start winning today. Join now, NYRABets.com. What I interrupt you from saying?
I have absolutely no idea.
We'll rewind it, we'll check the tape, and get back to you. Megan's in the paddock. Or Acacia.
To one of us, it's been a long day. Liffy, we'll start things off with the number 6 limited edition for Phil Antonacci, who does get an equipment change today with the blinkers going on, just a short cup being added. And I know at first glance this is a horse that you look at and say, well, he's had quite a few chances already, 0 for 9, but he's only run 4 times on the turf. And the two of those times with Phil on the grass, he was running against stakes quality horses in Pitkin and Cruise the Nile that he was facing on the grass there. So it gets back to what I think is his preferred surface in here today. And he was purchased at the Horses of Racing Age sale at the end of 2025. And Phil has done exceptionally well with these kinds of horses, picking them up at a Racing Age sale and continuing on with them. Obviously, this guy still has all of his conditions available. He looks tremendous coming in here for a trainer that is incredibly sharp. I thought the 5 Silent Impact was a bit interesting as he switched to the turf last time and had a bit of a crazy trip. He was off the pace and then made this big, wide middle move to take over the lead, and then understandably got run down in the stretch, finishing second best late in there. I don't anticipate that happening with Junior Alvarado climbing aboard in here today. It is much more of a dirt pedigree, being that he's by Gunrunner, the half-brother to multiple Grade 1 winner Emollient, as well as Grade 1 place Hofburg. But this guy looks like a turf horse. He has that flat hoof to him, slacker pasterns, not the biggest, not the most imposing, but very much of a candy ride influence I see in him. So I like him sticking on this surface and should get a smoother try today. There are a few intriguing first-time starters. The number 8, Daunting French bred, was purchased over at the Arcana yearling sale for the U.S. equivalent of about $400,000 by Wooten Bassett, an exceptional sire, particularly over in Europe. And the second dam was Group 1 winner Beauty Parlor, so tons of pedigree on this one. He's a good-looking individual. He was screaming and hollering when he first came into the paddock, a little bit maybe bewildered, but once they got the tack on, he does seem to have settled down quite a bit. Not the biggest, a typical kind of European frame, but very athletic. You can see some workouts on First TV from when he was a 2-year-old, and he really was not showing anything on the dirt. According to the DRF Clocker report, he is training stronger now. Cold on the board, but I think intriguing with that pedigree and his European influences in this Spot Lafitte.
Mike Rapoli's first-time starter, Daunting. As Acacia mentioned, cold on the board, 11-1. See what he does in his debut. Circling back to limited edition at 7-2 contender. Last race on grass, 2 starts back. This was at Gulfstream Park. And he had a solid bang-up third-place effort on that afternoon.
I don't understand, Simon, how this horse isn't favored. I mean, lost to a very good stakes quality horse in Cruise the Nile for Grand Motion, won 3 straight. That was a debut. Pitkin is good, who beat him. Fast races. Phil Antonacci won at about 100% here last year. At a great meet, gave him some time coming up here. I don't have a problem with Blazing Tiger. I don't love him in here, but he had a very soft trip last time and couldn't see it out. I think limited edition is the horse to beat.
Yeah, I mean, I think people look down, they see, oh, he's had, what, 9-10 starts, and they dismiss it. But if you isolate his turf form, it's pretty good. This horse has only had 3 starts, a second and a third, and his most recent second was back on the 17th of January. It was a good third-place finish.
Your 29-1 shot, Okefenokee, Simon.
Okay. This is a crazy long shot, but I've been known... One of the things I like to do is handicap pedigree plays. Even if horses have terrible form on the dirt, I'm betting on the pedigree. This horse is bred... It's got considerable turf pedigree on the dam side. The dam was a winner on the turf, a half to 2 turf siblings. And if you watch this race, as a guy who trained a lot of first-out turf winners, when this horse ran on the dirt, sprinting on the, I mean, he was slow, took dirt. It's a throw-out race. I think you'll see big improvement with the 4 at 29-1 today.
I'm not knocking 30-1 shots. That makes you look even stupider.
We'll try not to knock your 25-1 shot then, Andy, here in No Rain, No Flowers.
You want to go head-to-head? Whose 20-1 shot could finish it?
I am definitely happy to bet you... bet you a few margaritas.
Let's go.
I already offered to buy you dinner tonight, and you just shot me down. As far as the 9 No Rain, No Flowers, I was talking about how I thought the rail was good in Blazing Tiger, who drifted a bit in the stretch, spent most of the time on the rail. This horse was making his turf debut, going from a 5-furlong synthetic race, and was 3 or more wide the entire way around the track, and didn't get beaten that badly. Only finished a few lengths behind the 5-2 favorite. That was the first start in the turf. I like getting Paco Lopez. Should be a little more aggressive in here, and I thought this horse had a chance to run better than his odds. Whether it's good enough, we'll find out.
To Megan with a guy who's had a pretty good afternoon.
You could say Mark Hasse has had an okay day at the office as he does send one out in this finale and he's a piper. But quickly, how do you find he's going to negotiate that outside draw on debut?
That's a good question. I don't know, really. We've never had him on the turf, but he's bred for it. Tough post, so we're just looking for a good effort.
your star ladies who kept me company at Oaklawn this winter and put on a show today. We'll begin with Nitrogen. You believed in her, that she would take that step forward on dirt, and she certainly proved it today.
Yeah, today was, different. You just watch her a few times. We've kind of sat on her, and I think she just has such a high cruising speed. So I said to Jose, I said, I think we just go for it. And it worked pretty good.
I think it worked pretty okay. Accounting Stars also carved out a beautiful trip in the Acorn. How proud are you of her effort bouncing back out of that Kentucky Oaks?
For sure. Again, Francisco rode her very well in the Oaks, but and no fault of his, he saved a lot of ground. But she does not like to be behind horses, and that's what Irad said to me when he came to I watched the race, and you could see when he wheeled her out, she took off. And going into the Oaks, I was really confident. I thought she could win the Oaks, so it was a little disappointing, but she ran well, and today she showed.
What a day for Team Cassie as he looks to a little cherry on top here in this finale.
2 Grade 1 wins, like on the day before the day. Mark Cassie, post-parade, let's meet the field. Mount Sopris at 12-1 drawn inside.
Yeah, for trainer Tom Proctor, equipment change here, first time gelding.
A drop shot, outrun his odds in his latest.
Now take the even-numbered horse, Simon. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
You're
I
the
messed
guest.
that up.
Anybody scratched?
Steal my stuff if you like.
I'm sorry.
They're also eligible.
First down this job.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Blazing Tiger, the favorite.
Listen, I'm not going to be shocked if he wins, but I think 5-2 in this field is a little too short.
Simon's bomb, Okefenokee.
Yeah, dueling Maxfields. My 20-9-1 versus Andy 25-1. Second time turf. I like it. First time turf.
Horse came down since you picked him.
Keisha like what she saw, Silent Impact.
I don't like the race he's coming out of, but I like the race that he ran.
Limited edition. Look out.
3-1. Blinkers going on. They're putting the blinkers back on for the first time in quite some time.
Bull Shoals nearly shocked at 67-1 in his debut 2-back.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jenna had a big upset winner earlier today, and this horse ran his fast figure first time.
Daunting Mike Rapoli's first-time starter.
11-1 for a Pletcher run, and probably got one of the best turf pedigrees in the race.
Giant pedigree.
Yep.
Second Dan was second in the Prix-Diane, the French Oaks.
Yep.
Hope he moves quicker in the race than he does joining the post-parade. Better late than never. Daunting Jose Ortiz in the saddle. Date with Golden Tempo tomorrow afternoon, Belmont Stakes, following his 23-1 upset in the Derby. Ortiz, number 9, and No Rain, No Flowers, and Team Napoleon Solo was the Team Napoleon Solo.
I think this horse is more likely, it will outrun his odds. It may be good enough for 5th, but we'll see if he gets a piece.
Harry O, Johnny Velasquez.
Has run a couple of decent races, comes off a layoff for trainer Shug McGee.
7-1. Another fresh face here, knowledge sharing, Flavian Pratt aboard.
Got Pratt and Chad Brown with a first-time starter with some turf pedigree, and I asked Chad about this horse, and he said he has worked pretty well, so he thinks he can run a little bit.
It's 13-1.
Yep.
He's a piper to his outside, and Edgar Zayas.
And we just heard from trainer Mark Cassie, first-time starter here by Connect out of St. Bellotto, man.
Plenty of turf horses in the Dams family. It worries me a little bit. She's about 24 years old, getting a little older.
Graduation day for one of these. Mile on the inner turf course to close the show on the eve of the Belmont Stakes. Fans hanging tough. The get-out race, right? 5-2 currently. A Blazing Tiger and Irad Ortiz are going to graduate in his 4th career start. You're watching America's Day at the Races on FS1. Welcome back. America's Day at the Races is always brought to you in part by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Sign up today. Get a free $25 bet and up to a $200 deposit match bonus with promo code Belmont25. Enjoy betting on over 300 tracks around the world. Start winning today. Join now at NairaBets.com. To Acacia Trackside.
And the favorite has continued to be Blazing Tiger, and he is owned in part by a syndicate with the Delphi Racing Club. And sometimes you will see horses owned by syndicates with a lot of partners and a lot of excited partners supporting their horses at the windows. But he is a horse with a lot of speed, and he did, as Andy mentioned, spend most of the time on the rail last time. His stablemate, King's Remark, preferred the turf with a cut in it. He likes a firm turf, and that's what he's going to get today. He has speed. The biggest thing that they've been working on with him in the morning is to get him to settle and switch off enough to go shorter. He's probably one of those horses that would prefer the 7 furlongs at the new Belmont that we will have in the fall. We'll see if he can ration out that speed in here as we check in with Meg.
Acacia, the number 5 at Silent Impact. I agree with Acacia. It's just too big of a price and incredibly interesting when you really watch that turf, that second start where he took to the turf. A beautiful pedigree there, a Juddmonte homebred, and one that was tacked outside, settled, not over the top by any means, and just kind of laid back sort, incredibly well put together. A great mover. And to me, after watching that race, that big middle move, I find that getting him to settle in this race will be key, as he should have a little bit of pace to run out with the 3 Blazing Tiger. Couple others could be up front, but we'll see if he'll move his way more forward in what could be a more tepid going.
See how it all unfolds. Junior Alvarado, he's giving this guy a side eye.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at what do you think? Look at this.
Can you voice this over, Andy?
Can we do a little lip reading
I'm
there?
working, I think it's Spanish.
This is a family show,
working
okay,
it, man.
guys?
I'm
Yeah.
working.
Oops, the camera's on you, Junior.
He just caught it last year's Belmont Stakes. Kentucky Derby winning rider. Crossing over to the inner turf course, Andy. Race shape, pace. What are we looking for?
Good question. Let's discuss that a little bit. Keep in mind the rails are at 0 down below on the inner turf course. They're 18 on the melon. This one is on the inner. They're going to come down on the melon tomorrow, I believe. They'll be at 0 on both. I expect the 3 is going to go to the lead. I would think Junior should be sitting in close attendance to him.
Yeah, and then limited edition, I think with blinkers going on, might show a little more speed.
I think
today.
your horse is supposed to be forward as well.
Yeah,
You're coming out of a sprint
race.
race, 3 lengths off it.
Yep.
Frankly, I mean, if you're Manny and you look at this horse, I just want to go.
Yeah, that's
Take
the
your
way
shot,
I see it.
right?
That horse was 3 lengths off the lead sprinting and hadn't a clue what he was doing in the race, climbing up and down.
Blazing Tiger, the favorite 5-2. Another look at Junior Alvarado, Silent Impact at 6-1. These races, Simon, everything is trip and the bigger fields and the inner turf course here, and it's the deepest, most talented riding colony there is. It's one star after the next, and watching these races in particular and how things sort themselves out it's always entertaining to see how it works, and very often plays a big role in the outcome of the races.
Yeah, I love it. This mile turf race here at Saratoga, the full field, I mean, there's more rough trips that go into these types of races than any other.
Do you know when I first started coming to Saratoga in the 70s, they only used the inner turf course for jump races. They started in the late 70s running mile turf races on them, and they had some issues with the temporary rail, and horses were constantly going through the rails and stuff. And I remember one race where a few went through the rails, and we were watching as they went to the finish line, and after they all passed, a horse came running through the lake.
See who breaks through and graduates in this 14th and final on the eve of the Belmont Stakes. One final time, Frank Mirmati with the call, race 14, live from the Spa.
Harry O coming up. Two more. Knowledge sharing, first-time starter. And so is the outside horse. He's a Piper. They're in the gate. And they're off. Mount Sopris is the quickest out of the gate. Limited edition has some early speed in the firster. He's a Piper sprinting up on the outside of them. Blazing Tiger is in the mix too. The pace is very serious going into the first turn. Then Bull Shoals, followed by Silent Impact, who settles on the hedge, 7 lengths off the lead. 2 more back to Drop Shot, who's on the inside of Daunting as they make their way onto the backstretch. Okefenokee is next. on the inside of Harry O. The two trailers, No Rain, No Flowers, and Knowledge Sharing, would have to pass them all. 23 2/5 seconds, the opening quarter mile. And Edgard Zayas puts the gas pedal down on the long shot. He's a Piper who leads the way by 2 lengths. Limited Edition is comfortably tracking in second. At the rail, Blazing Tiger third. The half went in 47 2/5 seconds. They're followed by Bull Shoals fourth with 4 lengths to make up. Mount Sopris and Silent Impact are next. They are followed by the pair of Drop Shot, who's on the inside of Daunting, coming to the quarter pole. Daunting is about 10 or 12 lengths off the lead. From the back comes Okefenokee and Harry O. 110 4 for 6 panels, 1 furlong left. Limited Edition on the outside, trying to vie for the lead. It's been a good trip for Blazing Tiger, who comes through on the inside. They're followed by Bull Shoals, and Silent Impact joins the fray on the outside. It's a driving finish. Even Okefenokee between. Silent Impact mowed them all down. Tight photo, very close indeed, between Bull Shoals and Okefenokee, and there was a battle for fourth that involved Blazing Tiger.
Junior Alvarado giving the rest of them the side eye as Silent Impact strikes in the 14th at Saratoga for Bill Mott. Silent Okefenokee, who didn't break, charging through the stretch and a late bid.
Oh, yeah, this was a huge run from the 4, the runner-up here, Okefenokee. Slow away. We expected the horse to be on the lead coming out of sprint races and got a nice trip down to the inside. But I don't know whether this horse could see the 5 to the far outside, Andy, but he ran a huge race.
Yeah, I think ended up finishing third. Feels like 5-7-4, but that was a tremendous pick, and your horse didn't even get out of the gate. Now, it ended up the race collapsing, which mitigates it a little bit, but nonetheless, great pick by you. Didn't get the money, but certainly outran the odds.
See him at the bottom there, in the bottom of the screen there. You can see him at the start. He just stands there, breaks a little flat-footed.
Nice price on a horse that had run well in Florida. It's just hard to trust the race he was coming out of. Nothing really from the 6, who was forwardly placed. Nothing from the 3, but nice performance here. A good day for Bill Mott in the non-stake races. His horses ran very, very well.
23-1, Simon Okefenokee nosed out for second.
Yeah,
Well
Morley,
done.
I didn't bring this up, but Morley's stats, I'm not a huge stat guy. I mean, you can twist him however way you want him. But second start Maida, it's first time on the turf, follow me? 22%.
This is another one. Listen, arguably this is another one to add to the list of horses of Tom's that have taken tough beats.
Right.
Because there is a world in which this horse wins this race.
I think Megan Acacia had this one. Yes, at 6-1. I know Acacia loved what she saw from Silent Impact. Says, yeah, he's a turf horse. Performs accordingly. 6-1 winner in the 14th and final. 5-7-4-3. Bill Mott looking for a third Belmont Stakes tomorrow with Chief Wallaby and trying to go back to back. 6-1 over 18-1 over 23-1. Okefenokee 5-7-4-3. Speaking of the Belmont Commandment, rolled into Louisville with all kinds of momentum. 4 straight, including the Fountain of Youth in the Florida Derby. Denied in the Kentucky Derby. How will he respond? Plus emerging market. Louisiana Derby winner 10th in the Derby. What will he do in just his 4th career start in tomorrow's Belmont Stakes?
A provision in a bill passed this summer reduces the tax deduction for wagering losses from 100% to 90%. This unfair change would tax horse players on a percentage of their losses, could cost over $1 billion in handle, and threaten thousands of jobs in the racing industry. That's why the NTRA is fighting to pass the Wager Act, a new bill that would restore the deduction to 100%. Tell Congress to pass the Wager Act. Visit ntra.com/wager.
And they're off in the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. Here's Dornoch, headstrong in the early going. Mindframe is 4 deep, but up and on the pace, and Antiquarian is in the field. Turns for home. Mindframe on the outside is coming after Dornoch. Dornoch in an absolute thriller. Dornoch and Mindframe. It will be Dornoch and Luis Saez to win the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga.
Tickets to A Day at the Track are on sale now. Reserve a table or secure seats for a historic summer at Saratoga Racecourse. Saratoga Summer begins with opening day on Friday, July 3rd and runs through Labor Day. Book now at NYRA.com/Saratoga.
The official Belmont Stakes Barstool Sports Collection is here. Check out the hottest styles of the summer. Shop this limited drop before it's gone. Get yours at shop.naira.com.
Perennial leading New York sire Central Banker, sire of a $325,000 2-year-old colt in 2026, and the leading New York sire of stakes horses again, including Hot Currency.
Hot Currency up by 4, 5 widening lengths, approaching that final furlong. No catching a geared down, dominant winner of the 4-star Crook. Give it to Hot Currency.
Central Banker, standing for $7,500 at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Check this out Wednesday night, Andy.
It was Andy and Paulie and the Tantrums performing.
Andy, Paul, Fitz, and the
Did you go?
Tantrums.
Seriously?
Yeah. Put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Can't you see
part
there
of the
I am? I'm
celebration.
going
Look at
behind
that.
them.
You're on another.
People were having fun. I didn't want to be there.
You're on another dude's shoulders.
That's the line of the day right there.
All part of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival celebration. Fitz and the Tantrums on Broadway Wednesday night. On this Friday evening, close the show with this stirring finish from Silent Impact. Acacia Megan, well done. Simon is the Juddmonte homebred, graduates in his third career start. Last year's Belmont winning rider, Junior Alvarado, and winning trainer Bill Mott.
Good day for Bill Mott. Just,
You know him pretty well, a little bit? Yeah,
certainly do. What was I, 8? I think 8 years with him, Andy. The greatest was when I tell this story all the time. When I came from, I arrived in the United States November of 1992. So I'm coming out of England when it gets dark at 4 o'clock. I land in Miami, palm trees. I got $500 and a suitcase. That's all I have to my name. No car, nothing. And Bill looks at me and he's like, he sees fresh meat as we're watching this replay. He sees fresh meat coming in the barn that he can just work all day. And he goes, Simon, you're going to love this job. I'm like, why is that? He goes, you only have to work half a day. I'm like, really? And I'm looking at the beach at Helen. He goes, yeah, 5 to 5. The other half is all yours.
That's about right. That's about right.
Is that a long day or a short day if you work at horse racing?
The results there, 14-14 Silent Impact, Bull Shoals, and Okefenokee. 23-1 completing the trifecta. Tomorrow evening, the Belmont Stakes is on Fox. That is a live look on this gorgeous Friday evening, first weekend in June. The Belmont Stakes coverage begins 3 Eastern on Fox. Third and final jewel of the Triple Crown, third and final time at Saratoga. Another look at the field. These are morning line odds. The live odds, we saw Renegade around 6 to 5. 3 others, Chief Wallaby, Commandment, Golden Tempo in the 6 to 1 range. Andy, let's start with Commandment. Oh, yeah, he looked like a real player going into the Derby. Won those 4 straight Fountain Youth Florida Derby. What'd you make of the performance?
Well, I would say that, Emerging Market and Chief Wallaby are more forward horses. So they ended up in a spot that was tough to win with. You can't really fault the rider for being more forward. I don't understand what Luis Saez's plan was this horse. He doesn't have speed. He was supposed to lay back and wait. He could not rush him more than he did in this race. Wide and rushing. I think of all the horses that were, well publicized going the race, he's the one that got the least effective ride and was the most compromised by it. I think he bounces back and runs a big one tomorrow.
And his workout since the Derby would suggest that. I think Brad Cox's very confident. I saw his workout at Churchill last week. Looked very, very good.
Chief Wallaby, 4th in the Derby. How much, Simon, do you think he was actually impacted by some of the traffic he encountered in the stretch?
I think he was. I mean, I don't think he was going to jump up and win this race, but, I mean, did he have a length and a half, 2 lengths of trouble, cost him a place or 2? I think so.
Well, I mean, it's a similar, in a different way, but a similar conversation to Renegade.
Correct.
Renegade, okay, got bumped around a little bit at the beginning, but he's a deep closer, is a fast pace, and it collapsed. He got that in his favor. Whereas Junior made a decision, I'm not going to move too soon and I'm not going to go too wide. I'm going to sit and wait behind horses and try to split and save some ground. So in doing that, I think he helped himself quite a bit.
Yes.
And yeah, he got into a little bit of traffic in the stretch. But overall, I think the decisions that Junior made kind of helped this horse.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
The rundown, one race, gentlemen, aside from the Belmont Stakes, one horse, perhaps, that you're looking forward to seeing looking forward to seeing more than any.
I'll tell you a race we have not talked about that I'm looking forward to seeing is the True North, because we're going to get to see Bookham Dano and Ben Tornado settle last year's dispute for the Eclipse Award on the racetrack against a horse, Imagination, who ran a very sneaky good race in the Churchill Downs handicap. That might be one of the best races on the card.
I want to see the Krug Velocity Englishman matchup again.
What a day. What a day. Belmont Stakes Saturday. Golden Tempo. There he is. Can he do it again? 23-1. Upset Derby winner from last to first. Renegade looking to avenge his defeat. Runner-up in the Kentucky Derby. Command Me. Will he bounce back? And he will hoist the August Belmont Trophy. Find out just after 7 Eastern. We'll see you then.